Let us discuss intellectual curiosity again. Today in the studio we have two people joining me just like last Friday, and we are going to learn to ask questions. Everyone thinks they can ask questions, but can you? Do you know that your life depends on asking questions? Do you know that your nation health depends on asking questions? Do you know that what separates you from animals is asking questions? Do you want to improve your business? Ask questions. Do you want to grow children and educate your children? Ask questions. Do you want to learn something? Of course, ask questions. Do you want to stand out in society? Ask questions. But you know what? We will go even deeper. By the way, if you want to learn how to dominate media, that's what we're discussing on Fridays. We're talking about how to dominate media. The reason we are talking about intellectual curiosity actually is because one day when we was organizing our first summit, we have invited Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday Adelaja had a successful career as pastor of the biggest church in Europe, in Western Europe. Except of this, he is a journalist, and he really knows how to take media by storm. He was one of the first pastors who made 1 million subscribers on Facebook in 2016, when no one was using Facebook to influence. And believe me, when he's saying how to take over media, he knows what he's talking about. So today we are discussing one of the points that he gave us. He shared with us the idea of intellectual curiosity. There are 7 points that you need to apply in your life to take over media and become influential. Today we're talking about the point number 5, if I'm not mistaken, and that's about asking questions. That's why I asked you a lot of questions by now. Now we are going to see who are our guest, but before we go there, I will ask you to subscribe. We have already 128 people who want to become influencers with a mission, creators on a mission. So that's why you subscribe. Also, you subscribe to make comments, because you cannot make comments on live stream without subscription. And we have already a first comment from Real Man Mentor, which is Matthias. He is usual in our comments, how do we say, part of the team, and he has a great channel that you must check out. Just click on the Real Man Mentor handle and you will see he teaches how to grow boys who are going to be successful in life, because they will build their life on proper values. So he's sharing these ideas because he's a father of 5, and his bigger child already got married successfully. So follow him. Now he has a comment and he writes, "My favorite topic. Can't wait for the show." So let us invite our guests. Ta-da! So we have here Emanuel Woyome and Adeola Disu. Say hi. So
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
so what I can say about this guest is that these people are co-authors of the book about taking over media and developing it through intellectual curiosity. Emanuel and Adeola are writing one chapter covering one of the points, and that's why they are the best people to discuss the art of asking questions. And actually, one of them, I'm not going to tell you exactly who, but one of them is going to break down the topic of asking questions in the book, and I will ask you to guess and write who is the person. Is it Emmanuel or is it Adeola? You can write it by the end of the stream. So listen carefully. How do they cover the question, the art of asking questions, and try to guess who is the one who is going to write this chapter. Interesting. So let us listen a little bit to Adeola and find out, what are you up to, what are you doing. Can you introduce yourself a little bit, and why are you in the co-authors of this book? Like, why did you decide to join, and why intellectual curiosity is important for you?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Kate. Hello, Emmanuel. It's good to be here. So my name is Adeola Disu, and I will start with my passion really. So I am delighted to inspire people to amplify their potential beyond just life survival. So I help people. Most people know me actually through providing graphic design services, but and that graphic design services is just to help people position them for what their gifts are and what they are.
Adeola, I'm so sorry, but I cannot, unfortunately, I cannot see your picture moving. So we will switch to Emmanuel,
Oh,
and you need
oh,
to
really?
ensure that internet is back, so no one is using the internet. And let's see if we
Okay.
can fix it. Let us give the word to Emmanuel for now.
Okay.
Or maybe you need your internet little needs some time to come back, so let us give it a
Okay.
time. Okay, let's switch
Okay.
to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, who you are, can you present yourself? Why are you the one writing the book? Don't say guys, don't say anything about what exactly you are writing there. Don't give us out. We need to keep this
Okay,
secret till the end.
right. Hello, everyone. Glad to be on this platform and sharing my perspective this moment. My name is Emanuel Woyome. I'm an HR professional and a career coach. I help individuals and organizations to maximize their human capital potential through training, coaching, consulting, and publishing. And I'm participating in this mentoring program just to also contribute to developing others.
Okay, so
So,
people don't know which mentoring program. We are in the mentoring program of Pastor Sunday Adelaja, so they don't know. It's Dr. Sunday Adelaja is
yes,
having a mentorship program, and we are taught to cooperate. I am covering the side of this intellectual curiosity, network building, and that's actually why we started to do this cooperation on YouTube. It's network building. We are building a high performing network. So keep your eye on our announcement to see this book. So Emmanuel, why do you are you participating in writing this book on intellectual curiosity?
all right. So, I have been a disciple of DSA for quite a couple of years. And in one of the sessions, he taught about the act of asking questions. And by that awareness, it helped me to be always asking questions, which also gave me clarity on why I do certain things that I never knew I was asking questions in an effort to do that. And so I decided to
A part of asking questions, why intellectual curiosity?
yes, so yes, to contribute to why intellectual curiosity is very important. And I'm contributing to writing the chapter on asking the right questions.
Oh my
Asking the
goodness, no, you have just given out this is it was our secret. Now it's not secret anymore. All right, anymore. Anyways, guys, you
okay.
have just been introduced to the author of the chapter of on asking questions. So anyways, we don't have this secret anymore, but I think that
Yeah,
people we have to make a different challenge for for our people.
yeah,
Let's invent on the way. Adeola, what I think
Yeah.
it's better now. Let us try to see what.
Okay, let's try. Yes. Okay. Hello, everybody. Adeola Disu, and
Go on.
I am delighted to be here. And what I do is I am passionate about inspiring people to amplify the potentials that they have uh, beyond just surviving. I help
Amplify
people.
amplify potential that people have beyond the surviving. I love this. I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
talk about that you have to live beyond the surviving. What does it mean?
right. To live beyond the survival just simply means that we are all created for a purpose in life. And that purpose is beyond our gender responsibilities on the earth. So it's beyond just, the family formation or, our relationships together. It's far beyond that
So this is
because
what you are focusing on.
That's right. Yes, this is
As a
what I'm focusing
professional,
on.
how does it reflect in your work, or how do you focus on it?
So in the skills that I have and in my work, I am a graphic designer, and I help people. I help position them for their purpose, for to help them be visible in their skills in the marketplace.
There is someone, it's actually Real Man Mentor has written, my brief experience with Miss Adeola is, Miss Adeola is a phenomenon. Mrs. Adeola is a phenomenon. She asked great questions that helped me again clearly. No, sorry, that I don't know English very well. I'm sorry. So that helped me gain clarity on the topic of interest. Glad to see her here. So you see, there is a
That's
fame that goes beyond our stream. People already know you, and he is saying that you ask questions on your job.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I ask questions that help people to position themselves properly and relationally for the purpose that they have. So we are all created with a purpose. So we have different gifts in life, and those gifts are meant to serve different areas of life. So when people come to us, we help them to unravel what gifts they have within and where those gifts will serve in society,
So
and
this
then we
helps.
start to have.
Where does it help? It helps build a brand, or it helps grow business. What does it help?
So it helps to build their brand, but first of all, they've got to be able to define the gifts that they have. That's one. And number two, they have to also be able to determine where those gifts will serve in society or any part of the world. Because until you are actually able to discern that, you're not living yet.
Okay, I understood. So, I think from what I have heard about you, you are perfect for this discussion, both of you. And we will start like this. I will play a little video clip from the summit where Dr. Sunday Delaja is talking actually about the art of asking questions, and we will dive directly in asking questions. All right?
Okay.
Right.
All right, let's go.
Number five is intellectually curious people ask the right questions. They always that is what their curiosity is all about. Curiosity itself is about asking questions. So intellectually curious people ask the right question to help cut through political barriers and values that were strongly held before. They want to challenge the values of the society where they are in. Why are you people doing this? They want to ask questions. Why is every practice being practiced? Why is every culture there? They are challenging every culture, every manner, every tradition that is there, every legacy that is in any society where they find themselves. And that way, it leads them to break through. It leads them to be able to do things that people never thought was possible before. Next point.
So, what Dr. Sandel Adelache is saying is that the people, intellectually curious people, they ask questions about the things that are settled, that we already accepted as normal, all the norms of this society, the traditions of society, just asking questions why it's there and should it be there. And this is how they make a breakthrough. And when I was going through this topic with ChatGPT, I have understood that one of the reasons we need to learn to ask questions is actually that there is no breakthrough without asking questions. So there is a stagnation without asking questions. And I would like to start with asking question to Adeola. What do you think is the most important question in the context that we have discussed about your profession? You said that you ask people, you help people to find their mission and things like that. what they want to do for society. So what is the most important question that they have to ask themselves? What do you think? And this question to both of you, of course, what is the most important question? But we will start with Adeola and then to move to Emanuel, all right?
The most important question in life is to find out who you are and why you are here on the earth. God Almighty, when He created us with a purpose. And that purpose differs from one person to another. So it is very
just one moment. Emmanuel, what do you think? Is it one of the most important questions, or would you argue that it's not the most important question?
Yes, most, I think it's relative to people. I may equally bring one more question and say it is the most. So I will just agree with her
you
for
agree
now.
that it's the most?
Yes, it's the most, because it's just like an organization starting out. You need to find out your mission statement first. Why are we going into business?
That's
so
right.
as an individual too, what is your purpose? Why are you in existence for? So I believe it's the number one important one. Maybe during my session, I'll add a few more of those questions.
So from your perspective in your business, what happens with the business, Adeola, if you start business without asking question of the goal of the business? What happens with the business? I'm sure you are a long time in this market and you know businesses who started without asking questions that, about themselves.
Yes,
So what
so
was...
I mean, sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, so in business, I mean, you can't start a business without having a goal anyway. What is the business all
but
about?
People are starting business. They are like just drop shipping, you know, they are buying something, they're selling something, and the goal is money. That's simple, but it's like a define not the default goal to survive.
It's money.
Yeah, so that's just money. Yes, it's just a survival thing. You know, when people do, you know, it's like the Bible says, whatever your hands finds to do, you know, you just do it. So that is a survival instruction statement, you know, while you are developing or while you are still in the process of trying to define or discover who you are and the purpose of your personal life. So it is very important. It's the same thing in business. If you want to go into business, why am I going into this business? So for us individually, you've got to find out who you are first. Who did God create me to be? You know, sometimes in life, when we have little kids, they start to exhibit some of those traits, even though they don't understand it, but you begin to see some interests that they have. And it's also very important that we pay attention. Most of the time, people don't pay attention to that, especially if they're in a hurry. You know, parents will say, oh, just stop doing that and let's go or whatever.
So here where you're saying parents, what I hear is that there is a time, there is some kind of period when people need to identify what they are for, what is their calling. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
If you start business, you start from before you start business, you are asking about the goal. But we haven't been asked if we want to be on this earth. No one asked me. Have someone asked you? So I didn't define the goal. I appeared here on this ball that is, you know, swirling around the sun. No one asked me, and now I have to define my goal. When do I start doing it?
Yeah, so very importantly, because I think that because nobody knows how to ask these questions, you know, in the early stages of, you know, life for our children, or even when we were growing up, so nobody asked us. And most people, what they do is that they just determine, like for instance, in Africa, which, you know, I have a mission to, and I'm really passionate about with this subject, is the fact that, you know, what you do in life is being dictated to you. So nobody really knows, you know, it's just something that's been in society for a very long time, where it's just the norm for parents to, for instance, parents to just suggest that, oh, you become a doctor, you become a lawyer, or, you know, whatever profession that they deem fit will bring in more money.
Is it what happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't directly like that, but they expect you, for me.
How did you experience it?
So for me, I mean, I just grew up. I went to primary school and secondary school, and then started to exhibit some interest in art-related courses. But initially, there was a resistance because there's something about uh, going to higher institution to do fine arts. So there was a bit of resistance because I could remember when one of my siblings was saying that who can't draw, give me a paper, is that what you go and do in university? That doesn't bring in enough money and things like that. So you have things like that happening in various communities like that.
What about
So
you, Emmanuel? What was your experience growing up in Africa? Also, have it been decided for you?
Great. I think it's kind of cut across. When I was growing up, and it's even what inspired why I'm so passionate about career development for young people, especially.
mm-hmm.
So, like, we just grew up and we found ourselves in school, right? The very day we were sent to school,
If we're
nobody
lucky,
told us.
in Africa, not everyone lucky to be in school.
Okay, so I think I started school at age 6, thereabouts, and I didn't attend kindergarten or KG or crèche. I grew in the village. I grew up, and so they just carried me to school. But nobody told me why we went to school. So you go by the default. Just go to school. Probably you graduate to the higher level. You come out from school, present your degree or your certificate. You get employed, and you have money to pay your bills.
Yes.
But nobody tell us why are we here. So in my case, I love to read, and so reading kind of enhanced my self-awareness. And so, but in Ghana here, we have a transition from the school where after grade 12, what we call JHS here, you transition to secondary school. And during that transition stage, you need to choose a course to pursue at the secondary school level. And that's where the challenge starts. People have no idea about themselves. They are now to choose profession.
What age is it?
We choose a program to pursue at secondary school. And there we have options in the sciences, in the business, in visual art, in general art, and so forth. But to make a perfect decision, self-awareness is required. But here is the case that we don't even have any class, no guidance, and you are just to choose a program to study. And so most people kind of made a choice with a closed mind. You have no understanding of the options. So you just choose what you think is okay with you, only to grow old and realize that you could have chosen a different path. So in my case,
I want to, tell me about your case, and then I want to defend a little bit your parents who choose the path for you, but it's going to be after you complete.
Right. So in my case, in one evening, my parents were trying to help me decide. And these are, my parents are farmers, so they actually had little idea or no idea about those options. But I remember they were trying to assign professions to their kids, including myself. And so they told one of my siblings to become a nurse so that if any family member is not feeling well, she could attend to them.
Perfect planning.
And exactly.
They're smart.
Yes. In my case, they said they needed somebody who could help in building the family house or mansions when there is money. And so I should go and study building technology at the secondary school level.
Oh, I became curious. What about other kids? What professions they were assigned?
Yeah, so others were to become mechanics, so that if the family one day owns a vehicle, they will be able to provide servicing and maintenance.
Can you see the vision? It's a perfect vision, I think. This is like they were building a team.
But even though it was a perfect vision, it's like they had no idea about the people they are building their team with. So it's just like an entrepreneur building a team for his business without understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the team members He just assigned them
That's
responsibilities or
that's
tasks.
just amazing. Because so what we have discovered here is that if you can have a perfect intentions for your team, let's say, or for someone
Mhm.
who
Mhm.
you care
Yes.
for, you can have perfect intentions, and you
Mhm.
can schedule everything. You can like schedule your life totally in details, which is great that you have this vision, because many parents, they don't think that far.
Yeah.
So they were thinking about this, and kudos to them, applauses and hats off. And the same time, they have missed one thing, is asking question about like what. And we're going back to the question that you said, that is the most important, Adeola, is that who you are and
Yes.
why you are here. So that's why it
Exactly.
usually doesn't work, is because we need to ask this question even if we have the best intentions for us and
Yes.
for other people, right?
Exactly.
So yeah,
So
continue.
in my case, my parent didn't ask the question, who is my son? Who is this
That's
my
right.
child?
Mhm.
What are his strengths and weaknesses?
Yes.
Would he like to be in that field of work? So most of the time, what is
Yeah,
the ultimate goal for them
but he asked
is the
question,
survival.
Emmanuel. He asked questions. Okay, I was working hard. How do I make my family survive? He asked question.
Okay.
That's true.
Maybe, but it didn't cover some other areas.
Yeah, he didn't know he didn't know the world advanced so much that you can even ask questions. Where do you belong? Because let's say 100 years before, people just didn't have this opportunity to ask question, who you are, where
You
do
are
you
right.
belong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wouldn't survive if you would ask this question. You just had to be on the
Mhm.
factory. That's all. That was the only option.
exactly. In the
So the
Industrial
times are changing,
Revolution
right?
phase. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
defending your parents, they are asking questions for our best, yeah, because they have experiences.
Mhm.
They have experience that it's not easy to survive if you don't have a profession that brings you money,
That's right.
and they
Mhm.
have been
Exactly.
through
Exactly.
this. So they haven't seen anyone who was looking for their talents, pursuing their career in drawing, and
Mhm.
Mm,
having bread on
Mhm.
the table. And they have seen most
Mhm.
probably people who were pursuing drawing career and were beggars on the street. So they didn't want
exactly.
this life. They didn't want this
Yeah.
life. How do we know what time is it now and what questions to ask? Can you explain to me? How do I know? Because you see, your parents, they were asking questions, but they were wrong, not according to the time that there was. What do you think about this?
Right. I
No.
think if I'm allowed to take it up,
Yeah.
you've made a very good point, and the world has changed. 20 years ago, nobody could say, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to
That's
be
right.
a content creator. I want to
Yeah.
be an influencer, a social media
Mhm.
influencer.
Mhm.
So the times have changed. And when the time changes, every individual, every business leader needs to ask the question, what time are we in?
Yeah.
What are the best approaches to do
Well,
things?
Adeola, what do
So
you
for
think
it,
about this? I see you have some thoughts. And
yeah,
Yes, absolutely. I agree with what Emmanuel is saying. And you also have to ask yourself, where is my position in these times? I think
so we
that is
asked
very
two
important.
questions. What time is it now? And
What?
yeah,
where is my position in this time?
Yeah, that's right. So you have to know where you need to be positioned, or where you are supposed to be positioned in the times that we are in right now.
mm,
So as the time changes, like the 21st century, the technology, everything is moving so fast. So where do I fit in, and how do I use what I have got, my skills, my gifts? How do I best serve, whether it's a niche or a targeted audience,
yeah,
or just as a community that you have been assigned to? Because I believe that we have all been assigned, because there are people, it's just like the sheep hear my voice. So everybody, you have some sheep that would hear you are the shepherd. They would hear your voice as the shepherd. So that is your place. You've got to be able to discover what you have and how it best serves now.
You know, can I puzzle you? You have kids, right, Adeola?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Emmanuel, what about you? Sorry about asking questions like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So my question to you: many parents, they are worried about their kids being on tablets, being on the mobile phones, and playing games. Some kids,
Yes.
they fought for this, to play games. They were playing games, and actually today they are billionaires for playing games. So their parents, although they were very smart, they didn't recognize the time. So you see that,
Exactly.
I see that there is a problem, that how do you recognize the time, because the technology is changing so much. Like today, the AI taking over everything. Technology is changing so much, you cannot keep up. I remember that when ChatGPT was starting, I tried to investigate how the what is it called for images, what is it called, the AI for images.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anyways, I forgot. So I tried to work with it, and the server, I don't know for why, but I never got response from the server. Midjourney. So I tried to generate
Okay.
images,
Okay,
but
me too.
something
Yes.
didn't work for me. And I started to be desperate, because I understand that the work that I am doing 2 hours, I could do 5 minutes in mid journey, but it doesn't work for me. So what I have discovered is that I was overwhelmed with all the technology, although I am tech savvy. I was overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed, that I could not keep up with it. I felt stressed. I shared even with my friends that I'm like, I cannot keep up. Something is going on. I want to be on the top and I can't. It just doesn't work for me. Am I stupid or something? You know? So I wouldn't be able to advise my kids something correct, something right, because I just cannot keep up with the technology. So how do you define yourself in the time and understand what to do in the time through questions if you cannot keep up with it?
I think what we need to understand by this age of technology is that, for instance, AI is just an assistant to us. It's just to collapse time.
Well,
So,
I wouldn't agree, because just recently there was a
yeah,
great movement, religious movement, where
right.
they treat AI as God. They have already
Oh,
practices, religious practices, spiritual
yeah.
practices. There are followers, and it's huge. It's not they treat it as a god.
All right.
And if
I,
you and they have communities where they develop like highly spiritual prompts. So it's not just as an assistant, it's much more than you can imagine.
Mm.
oh,
Yeah, but I think the assistant component has been very visible.
yeah.
But beyond that, now we are what we call agentic AI, where a whole system is designed to now perform the tasks in the
Yeah.
absence of human. And so whilst you are sleeping, the agent is
Yeah.
performing some
Yeah.
tasks,
Absolutely. Yeah.
at least to the advanced version we are moving to. But I think we
Yes.
started from the generative era and then more
Yes.
advancing. So
Yes.
it keeps changing, and as it
Yes.
changes, we also keep changing to adapt.
So
Yes.
can I, which questions do I ask if it changes all the time? How do I be not stagnant, trying not to measure, not to limit my followers, my kids, my students, my anyone who depends on my knowledge? How do I do this?
Right.
Deola, yeah.
Yeah. I think first of all, to be honest, what is first and foremost is to actually know the reason and the purpose of this technology. That's the foremost thing, because technology has not come. You mentioned something, Kate, and you said, yes, they play games and some are making big money out of this. I think there has to be an understanding of why AI is in existence. it's not, it's not, our main purpose in life is not for us to make money. Our main purpose is to fulfill the destiny upon each and everyone's life. So using AI, and even as it's advancing, there's so many, we should be able to just know which ones to use to help us to serve our purpose, to be our assistant in the process or the mission of serving our purpose in life. Yeah.
So I started understanding. So for you to ask the right question, you start with the first question. So we go back that you start with the question who you are, what's the purpose, and then
Yes.
from there all the questions they become correct. Like, right? Do you
Yes.
follow
Supportive questions.
Do you follow this thought?
Yes. Absolutely, because in everything that is happening in the fast pace that we are in now, you must first of all not lose who you are. Everything else that comes, as the times are changing, it's just to assist you. It's just to help you in achieving your goal in life, your main purpose in life.
So I think, Adeola, maybe this movement, spiritual movement around AI, most probably the reason for it is because these people, they don't have goal, so they have abused the tool.
Yes.
And maybe this is what happens with the parents also, because they don't know the goal, they abuse the tool, which is educational system. They just don't use it correctly. What do we do with this? How do we change? Let me make a break and read what we have in the chat from our viewers. So Real Man Mental is writing, the self-discovery question is the most important, but it is hard for many people to answer. Why is this? Very good question. And then he's writing, let us stop here. Let us actually discuss it. What he's saying is that it's, why is this? He says it's hard for many people to answer, and he asks, why is this? Why is it difficult to answer the question of who you are and why are you here?
I think it's very difficult to answer this question because it's not something that we're used to in our communities or in life in general, because it's not something, it's very uncommon, like our mentor, Dr. Sunday Adela, just taught us, without knowing the purpose, the purpose for your life, you cannot be successful in anything. You're just having a cruise, a cruise journey in life. So I think that question is our foundational question to how we journey through all the changes in life. For me, it's very important, and we need to go back to that question, because at the end of life, really, it's not really about the financial resources that you make. It's about, a lot of people regret when they come to the end of life, and they're wondering, because there's still something, still ticking within them, and they are regretting that they have not done this, they have not done that. So it's very important that that foundational question is, is answered correctly, and then everything else aligns with it. Even with the moving technology, you'll be able to use that to accelerate the purpose of your life. That's what I think.
Emmanuel, what do you think? Why is it hard to find? Because you are working with people in the area of discovering their profession, which is connected. So with you're working with young people. I think you could see that it's hard for them as well. So why is it hard? What do you think?
I think it's a systemic challenge.
Yes.
One, it could be that they are ignorant, or they don't, they lack the knowledge that
before you go
beyond...
there, can you explain what does it mean, systemic challenge?
Okay, so because several factors are connected. For instance, where you live in a culture where you are not allowed to ask questions, you don't even have the chance to ask, so why am I here? Probably even the thought comes to mind, you just keep quiet. But if we have a culture of asking questions, somebody might one day probably ask, so why am I here? So that is one aspect of the systemic challenges. The other component could be lack of knowledge. So, for instance, those of us who have this self-awareness now, it didn't come by chance. We read, we were seeking answers to questions. So we read books. And by reading books, we discovered that, look, beyond just going through school and getting job to feed yourself, we live for a higher purpose. So when somebody is ignorant, somebody is not educated, and they haven't opened a book where this knowledge is written, they will go by the default setting, especially in our part of the world, in Africa, where probably majority grew up from poverty or we grew up from lack. Because of our desire to meet our basic needs, we think the purpose of life is to work to meet basic needs.
But you see,
And so,
this question that is asked by Matthias, why
right.
is this hard? I think he's asking because he knows that it's challenging also for him to find exactly the purpose. So, and if he is looking at his YouTube channel, it doesn't look like person is not educated, limited by cultural any limitations. So I think that even people in high school, like in high
Okay, yes, people
academic
having
environment,
PhDs.
they still struggle with this. Yeah, so they can
Yes.
read books, although they can discover this. So what's the problem there? Why it's hard to find?
I think one aspect that might be lacking is also the desire to find something they call purpose before they start. You see, purpose is unfolded gradually. So,
so
yes,
purpose, it takes time to find.
yes, it takes time to gain full clarity.
Oh, that's
So you
interesting.
don't wait.
Can you break it down a little bit? Like, how much time does it take? Will it take
Good.
the
So
whole life?
let me draw this analogy. You know, when we were growing up, well, let me praise maybe teachers for, or maybe parents for asking this question. This is a very popular question you hear as a kid growing up. That when you grow up, what would you want to be? And a child will say, I want to be a pilot. I want to be an astronaut. But we grow up and we don't become those things. What happened? Because we rediscovered ourselves that no, though I dreamt of being that as a kid, now that I've grown and knowing the realities on the grounds and knowing who I am now, I am not for a pilot. And so what do? There is a framework for that. So you don't wait to get the full picture before you start. The desires that are on your heart, gradually start taking actions on them. Maybe have an internship around it, read a book around it, volunteer in that space. In the process of these explorations, practically, not reading, you get a clarity from your heart. It's like the way people believe when you fall in love. So there are so many people. How would I know that I love this person? Nobody tells you. It's something you discern from within. So the same is with purpose. So you don't wait to gain the full picture that I love this or this is my purpose. Start with those things that you like, those that you are interested in, things that you are passionate about. In the midst of those initial pursuits, you will gain clarity to declare that going forward with the rest of my life, my mission will be focused on this. And I can relate my personal story to that.
Just a minute. I want to summarize a little bit this part that we discussed. So we said that for you to ask the right questions in the time where you are with the technology where you are, to place yourself where you should be in this time, the first thing that you have to do is to ask the question about who you are. But we also have established that it takes time, so you are not going to be clear about this.
It's
So
not a one-day event.
It's not one-day event, and it means that you are not going to be able to place yourself from the beginning in the right place in this age. So how parents, they have to figure it out then for us? You see, because if you have to discover your calling, and it will take time, how they can discover for you? So that's
Good question.
Confusing, yeah.
That's a good
For me.
Good
question.
question. So, like I said, purpose grow out from our values, what we appreciate, or what is important to us, our interests, our passion, our obsessions. So
Yes.
you might not know yet, but at least be building your career path or your profession
Mhm.
around areas that you are interested in. At least
Right.
that is the starting part. And then as you grow along, gaining clarity, you are
Mhm.
able to fully define it.
Yeah.
So there
Emmanuel,
was a story of,
Emmanuel,
yes,
you said you will say the story about it, but I wanted to also ask Adeola her story. She started a story saying that she wanted to pursue the career in drawing, and
Mhm.
I don't remember how did it resolve. Like you had a resistance, but did you go there?
Yes, I did. I had a resistance. I just didn't, I wasn't really interested. The reason why I said it's very important that we um, begin to see where our inclinations are with regards to
Mm-hmm.
our interests and our skills is because I had this knowing on the inside. Yes, it's a journey, like Emmanuel has said, and it unfolds in different, times in life, different seasons of life. So as we're building that career, but for me, I just wasn't interested in any other career, any other thing else. So that foundational level for me was to do fine arts, and that's what my creativity was. That was where my interest was. So it's important for me that you discover first your interest, and you can begin to develop as you go along. Purpose is not just a one area thing as well, because it's just the gift that you have on the inside of you, and it can serve different areas and different purposes of life.
yeah,
So
yeah,
but it's just important to know where your interests are. I mean, you can
So,
find something to.
let us not move on without understanding what you have said. You said that the purpose is not only about one thing as well. Can
yeah,
you
Yes.
explain it a little bit?
So the gifts that God has given to us, it can serve in multiple areas of life, and it can be utilized in different seasons of life
How did
as
it work
well.
for you? Can you bring an example? How did it work in your life?
Yeah, so naturally, I just felt the creativity, the things that actually interest me were in arts, and I was able to use that to serve in different communities, different business communities, like in textiles. I do graphics now, but even now I am repurposing this gift that is in me to help people discover who they are through materials and things that are in production right now, so that
yeah,
people are able to find ease in knowing in their know that, okay, this thing is what I am interested in, and it can serve multiple areas of life.
So
yeah,
So
what is interesting? You have an interesting path. So you started with drawing, yeah, and
yes,
then
that's
it led you eventually to be drawing the purposes, the lives, like to because
yes.
drawing is
Mhm.
yeah, what is it? It's called um. This thinking, I don't remember. Let me bring you an example. So
It's fine
there,
art.
imagine,
Yeah, it's,
imagine and actualize.
no, no,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
Okay,
So this thinking is called relative thinking or something. I don't remember. But let me bring you an example of one
Mhm.
person who went to jungle and found there a tribe, and this tribe didn't have houses, didn't have chairs. They just was living on the trees. So he decided to teach them, and he was drawing how to build a chair or how to
Right.
build a basket, how to build, and they
Mhm.
could not, from the drawing, they could not understand from the drawing because of this
Right.
thinking. They didn't have this thinking, not relevant. I don't remember. Maybe someone can write in comments. This type of thinking is, how is it called? When um I will remember a little bit later. So you see, so you have this kind of thinking that allows you to draw a picture, to see a system visually, yeah, and you could apply it in different area. It's just like there is a Grandlin Temple, the academic who, I think either she is professor or academic, who has the she's never divergent. She has an autism, and she was able to get an education. And when she was like 20 years old, she discovered that she has different thinking from other people. She never
Right.
knew that other people don't think in pictures. So when there
Right.
was a big accident in Japan, in the atomic plant, she went to investigate. And when she entered this location, it happened because of tsunami. So when she entered the location, it took her 30 minutes to identify where the problem came from, why the security systems, the doors that had to close, they didn't work, and why this accident happened. So it took her 30 minutes. And the reason it took her 30 minutes is because she has this visual thinking.
Right.
So this visual thinking, it helped her to build different systems, to
Right.
build security. She is the one who has designed the slaughterhouses
Right. Okay.
without violence. So there were slaughterhouses where the animals, they were suffering. They were afraid, they were scared. She designed a slaughterhouse where animals are going to the slaughter without having any adrenaline hikes or something, spikes. They are calm. She has learned how to make them calm when they are going for slaughter. Can you imagine? So she has applied her talent to different areas of life. She found solutions which are original by asking questions, by challenging status quo, and applying her talent in different areas. That's why I'm asking, how did it work for you? Because what I have noticed is that you have started with just drawing, but you ended in finding answers for people in the most difficult questions, which is finding what is your purpose in life.
Yes. Absolutely. For me, it's in the print. So my creativity ability is where I found myself now is in the print media. And I have used the print media to position people for whatever their purpose is per time in different seasons of life. And I am also transitioning into using that ability to help people come to the realization of who they are. So I am creating platforms now. They're not ready yet, so they're in a season of creation, where we help people determine at different seasons of life what they're supposed to be doing with the individual gifts, the unique gifts that they have. Yeah.
So that was an illustration how Adeola have applied her talent in different areas of life. Like purpose is not just focused on one thing, and we all also by now we have established that it takes time and it's not
Yes,
one thing. So don't try to find one thing and don't try to find in a moment. What's your experience, Emmanuel? What you wanted to share, your story?
Okay. So, like I said, it takes time. So, and I like the perspective Adeola brought it, that you have a gift and that gift can be served differently. So, for instance, I have a teaching gift. So the teaching is like a pair of scissors, so a tool. Someone can use that same pair of scissors to cut clothing and be a fashion designer.
Absolutely.
Somebody may use it to cut ribbons and be a decor person. Somebody else can use it to cut different, but then it will be directed by our passions. So the same way, teaching is a gift, and I have a teaching gift. Somebody with the same teaching gift and very passionate about relationship as a subject will use the teaching gift to teach people, coach people, counsel people in the field of relationships. But I am passionate about professional development of people. So I use my same teaching gift to teach leadership, to teach HR, to teach career development, to teach on emotional intelligence. I teach subjects that will help people grow professionally. It is because though I have the teaching as a gift, I'm also passionate about people's professional growth, not their marital or relationship growth. So I don't teach relationship topics. Anything related is just an opinion from me. I don't build a brand as someone who teaches on marital or marriage or relationship topics. And it took time. When I was 18 years, this wasn't the understanding I got. But this clarity came as a result of experience. It also came because I didn't wait to discover the purpose fully before beginning the journey. The desires that were coming on my heart, I took actions on them, started serving in different dimensions until I got this clarity. However, if you could trace back, and early this afternoon, my best friend sent me a flyer of me in 2015.
Wow.
Of a flyer I did to organizing training for career coaches. He sent it to me in 2025, 10 years ago. And so he said, he made a statement in addition, said, you have been in this for long. It is because I identify my personal characteristics, my values, my interests, my skills, my abilities, my passion. And I've been in that line of myself. And so things that I do now are not so new from what I've been doing over the years. And sometimes I tell my colleagues jokingly that even at 70 years, when I'm very active on my feet, things I'm doing now, I will still be doing them. Maybe supported with technology. So I may not be everywhere, but still the thing that I am committed to doing as a mission, helping individuals and organizations to optimize their human capital through coaching, training, consulting, and publishing, you will still see me doing it because I have come to this clarity now. What you will never see me doing is that you won't see me becoming a musician because I don't have music gifts and I don't have passion for music. So it will be strange for me to be pushing myself into music because someone is making more money there. In my own field, I may not make millions or billions, but beyond billions, which I don't even need to feed myself, I am giving my value in trainings. So the value I'm giving to people is not monetary, but they will make money from that value I give to them. If I help somebody get clarity of themselves, they become self-directed, they are living their own life, they don't need anybody to give them a job. That is value. That is worth. So I don't need to make a billions and put in my account. Well, somebody, that may be their value and their goals. But to me, instead of making money and giving you some, I am giving you what you need to make the money by yourself. Whilst I equally serve and make the money I need for my basic needs. But beyond my basic needs, I am committed to my mission.
Yes.
Helping individuals and organizations to optimize their human capital potential through training, coaching, consulting, and publishing. And music is not part of it.
Can you remind me? So you had to go into construction to study, yeah, according to the plan of your parents. And how did your career?
I didn't.
You fought it. Oh, here we have.
I didn't. So here there is also a system where the government places people who are done with the JHS, having written the BCE, you gain entry into secondary school. So they place you. You can choose that I want to be in business, and you can be placed in science program. Another misconception here is that when you are doing well, brilliantly, and you are getting the best of grades, you must be in science, even when you prefer the arts.
Yeah.
So for me, and then when you perform poorly, when your performance is not the best, then you are pushed into the arts.
Right.
So yes, in my case, I couldn't get my choice, the schools that I chose. So I had to find admission in a different school. And when I went, they said all the classes were full and that they had vacancy only in the visual art class. So I did visual art.
Oh, so
I'm
you
okay
are
with it.
like the same profession, yeah?
Exactly. However, the art I do is not the technical like Adeola does in designing.
Right.
I did that for the time of my secondary school.
Right.
But after secondary school, I didn't pursue the art. However, it gave me an advantage. It sharpened my creativity, and naturally, I'm a creative person.
Right.
It sharpened my intuition, and I also understand principles of design.
Right.
If a graphic designer is working with me, I push you to the world to do the right work.
Right.
So I can see if this is a quality design or it is not.
Yeah.
I can see if there is balance, if there is rhythm, if there is harmony, which I learned from high school.
Right.
But I don't practice as an artist now,
Let,
though I write books.
let us make a little break and read the comments, because our section of comments is exploding. I will read some comments and we will discuss some questions that people are asking, and I want us to continue talking about the art. Why? Because we're talking about the art of asking questions. Art. Let me also tell you what I was mentioning before, the abstract thinking. And I have here the correction from Svetlana that figurative thinking is when you think with figures, with images. Abstract thinking is when you don't need images to think. So the art actually it trains you because you you draw pictures to illustrate, but then it trains you so that you don't need pictures anymore. It's like reading. It's like reading. Reading is actually abstract because you are reading some science. They don't mean nothing. They don't mean anything. And then suddenly you get revelation. Yeah. So it's trained. Abstract thinking is trained. So that's why this tribe was not able to understand how to make a chair, because it's abstract. It's like you look at the picture and they see some kind of squares like this. They don't understand what is this, because they don't have abstract thinking developed, and it takes years for you to develop abstract thinking. So maybe the art was the right choice from your parents, but we will read some comments. And I'm defending today. I am a parents defendant. So let us see some chat questions and things like that. Wow, I have to scroll back. That's amazing. So what we have here from Matthias, real man mentor. I think we live in evolving world, but your purpose does not change. When you find your purpose, you can always use the evolving technologies to still fulfill your purpose, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Svetlana Rudovska is writing. It's also a member of our community. You also should click on this handle and go and see how she helps people become free from any addiction. So either it is you, or either it is your loved ones, which is she focuses more on loved ones, but also I think she has a lot of secrets for those people who want to quit smoking, for instance, because it's also like similar secrets.
Right.
Go and click and watch. If you are watching a lot of scrolling your phone, maybe you should go and watch her videos so that you stop scrolling, because it's also an addiction.
Yeah.
So she's writing, hello people, hello. People now are using technologies for work, entertain, and even use AI as psychologists. So the answer why could be to the answer could be, let's say, for the question why, could be to optimize my work, to entertain myself, and to resolve psychological issues. Is where she's answering the discussion we had about, like, why do you need technology? So the answer to this question, which is question, by the way, we're talking about questions today, is to optimize my work, to entertain myself, and to resolve psychological issues. Then she's writing the question, how to distinguish when AI is harmful for adults and children. She's asking. Keep in mind to answer this question, okay? When I will finish with the questions here. Then also Svetlana is writing, technologies are the mean of pursuing mission, but defining a mission for someone is still not clear if they have interests. Unfortunately, defining a mission for someone is still not clear if they have interests, different interests, most probably. Maybe you can clarify, Svetlana. And Matthias is writing, good questions always spark my curiosity. Asking questions is an art. How does one develop this art? Very good question. So we had a question about the technology, specifically AI, how it can be harmful for adults and children. And we have a question of asking questions, which is an art. How do you develop? Let's start from question from Svetlana. So children are pursuing technology. We spoke about this. Yeah, parents are trying to protect, but also parents can be outdated, might not understand where they are placed in this time. They might not know their own purpose, and not know that the children have purpose. But let's say it's a parent who knows that children have purpose. Still, the technology can be harmful. She is asking how to distinguish when AI is harmful for adults and children. What do you think? Let us cover quickly.
Yeah, I think that it's there is a problem with the amount of AI, is it services or something that is all over the place? There's just so much, and it's so overwhelming sometimes. I think there needs to be a way, and I'm not sure, but to regulate this thing, because it's coming out so fast. Even as we're speaking now, there's some new ways, some new processes that are being, released. And I don't know, I think it's a pandemic, and I think it's a problem that I'm not sure we will be able to handle. But then I think it's just also just trying to regulate it's asking the question about what you need in your profession, in your family, what would help you with whatever you're doing, with your purpose, with your work, in your relationship. And, and I think the regulation of it is just something that is a problem right now at the moment. I don't know. Maybe Emanuel can help us. I don't know how that can be regulated. Yeah.
Right. I think
so the question is not how it can be regulated, but the question is actually
it's whether it could be harmful or
how to distinguish when AI is harmful for adults.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I think for that, we have what we call responsible AI. And almost all the giant tech companies are equally taking responsibility for that.
Right.
And so for some of them, they have their own inbuilt system to ensure that the invention they bring out does not lead into unethical stuff.
I think it's
For
a
instance,
system of asking questions, most probably.
Oh,
yes, exactly. So
And
they
and
ask,
even
for instance, they
even
know
what,
somebody could
yeah,
use
go on.
the tool to create maybe an image that is not good to be exposed online.
right.
So they build a system, they build a security system that when you prompt it to design those images, it will not respond.
Right.
Beyond that, they also offer a lot of education. They offer education on how people must responsibly use the AI tool. But that shouldn't be much of a concern. For instance, 100 of a century ago, when the electricity was invented, some people felt that the electricity could get their children shocked, shocked to
It was
death.
happening. It was happening. People were
Yes,
dying. There
even
were
to date,
fires.
exactly. Till date, it still can shock people.
Not only shock,
But
there were a lot of fires because of the electricity.
okay,
They have
so
learned.
people were concerned.
They have learned to isolate the electricity and everything, because before all the cords, they
The
were
cables,
just like this, so people
yes.
learned something.
So, right. The point I was driving at is that there will always be fears whenever there is an invention, whenever there is something new. I also learned that when the automobile was invented, those who were riding horses, they were complaining that it would take their jobs. But the smart ones who went to learn how to drive the automobile were able to find employment. They were able to now use the new technology, which is a vehicle automobile. So the same case is what we are having with the AI. So for us as individuals and organizations pursuing our purpose, we only have to find the positive way of using the tools to enhance and advance the pursuit of our missions.
Yes.
Just like a knife till date can still be used to kill, and others may choose to use the knife to kill. But you, as a sound-minded person, will use the knife to perform what it is intended to be done, not to commit evil, but to do good. So in pursuit of our purpose, let's use the AI to do good in pursuing our missions instead of using it to perpetrate evil.
So let me tie it a little bit to what we heard from Dr. Sunday Delaje in the beginning of this clip that we have listened to. He said that the intellectually curious people, they ask questions specifically about the tradition and traditional things and the status quo, the values. They are asking why those values are there, why this is here, why this is there. So these questions, they generate change and advancement, and technologies are changing because of those questions. So what I see is that there will be always fear and resistance to those questions. There will be fear and resistance. So there are some people who are asking questions and advance the society, but there are some people who are fearing and trying to, protect everyone from the carriage without horses. So let us go, and we didn't cover one more question. Good, he said, Matthias said, good questions always spark my curiosity. Asking questions is an art. How does one develop this art? So the question is, how do you stay not on the side of those who are afraid, not on the side of those who are concerned about the technology, not on the side of those who resist technology, but on the side of those who ask the right questions? So let us talk about the art of asking questions. And before this stream, I have obviously asked ChatGPT to teach me to ask questions. So even what ChatGPT does, the way it's programmed is not allowing me to ask questions. The way I have a discussion with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT every time gives me predefined answers, suggesting questions. So what it does, I ask question about what do you think is the downside of not knowing how to ask questions. So ChatGPT answered to me, and then he said, do you want me to write an article about that? So this question, because ChatGPT has a memory that I'm writing articles, that I'm doing courses and doing YouTube videos, so it asks me question without giving me choice. It suggests already, it puts in my mind already what should be done, and I fight with it all the time, and I say, no, I don't want you to lead me in this conversation. You don't lead me in this conversation. I lead you in the conversation. I ask questions. I want to learn. I don't want you to find shortcuts for me. And like, I'm almost treating him like I'm upset with him. So you see, I understood that the art of asking questions is, of course, knowing your goal. What do you want with those questions to achieve? Because there will be questions that are just guiding you. Someone can use questions to define your way for like, instead of you. So your ability to ask questions is your freedom. That's number one. Number two, I finally got responses from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said that to learn how to ask questions, you need one of the points. There are many points, like 10 points, but one of the points that I was interested in is ask precise questions. Ask precise questions. And this is something that I heard for the first time. So he explained, she explained that vague questions, they don't give you the answer that is valuable. So if you, Emanuel, ask a person, what do you want to be when you grow up? And this person is 16 years old, let's say. This is so vague question that it's not going to give this person any answer. That's why the coaches are paid so much money for 1 hour of asking questions, because they ask precise questions. So he explained, she explained it, ChatGPT, that the precise question is that you ask question based on the context. So you had a discussion, so you bring up the context, saying you had this experience in life, so based on this experience, how do you think, which talents do you have that point to your goal? What do you want to be in life? So this is precise question. At the same time, the question can be the one that guides, that strives the person of freedom. For instance, you, Emanuel, asked this 16-year-old boy, saying, there is a very lucrative industry in engineering, and you can study there. Do you want to study there? So do you want to become an engineer? So do you understand? It's a pre-engineered answer already. So the question has the answer. So the art of asking questions is asking question is in the way that it has a purpose, so that people can have a clear understanding of what you are asking and where we are going, but at the same time, it doesn't shut down your answer. Let us discuss this. What do you think about that? What's your experience?
Let me just take that to say that there's this principle you have shared, giving precise, answering precise questions or giving precise instruction, is the same principle for engaging with AI tools like ChatGPT. So if you don't ask the right questions, ChatGPT cannot give you the right answers. And also having the goal, what you expected to achieve. So you've just taught us the better way of prompt engineering, or the best way of communicating with generative AI tools like ChatGPT. And I'll just then relate it to asking the right question to even ask, so what is your purpose? If you just ask somebody, what is your purpose? They may not get the concept or the context from which you are speaking from. So, but giving an understanding, giving an overview to explain before then asking the question, it gives them to also now get the same perspective you are coming from, and the response will be more useful. But
Yeah.
in all, it is always good to ask precise questions.
Yes.
Right. I'll pause here. Adeola may probably want
Yeah,
to.
absolutely. I agree to that it's very important to ask precise questions for clarity sake
Yeah.
and for and also to leave it open-ended. I love the fact that Kate was saying to ChatGPT, I don't want you to give me, I'm asking you this question, so I don't want you to suggest the answer to me. Do you see what I mean? So it has to be relevant and purposeful as well. I'm not, you have to really ask questions that, not a general question like what is your purpose, like um, what are your desires, what are the things that you like to do, what are the things people are saying about you, what are the values that people have noticed about you, the gifts that people have noticed about you. And you not just ask yourself, ask people around you as well, and that helps you in your clarity on the things that you need to be focused on. Yeah. And
Thank
I
you
love
so
the
much.
fact that,
Yeah, go on.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah, I love the fact that, Emmanuel, somebody gave you a flyer of what you've been doing since, in 2015, and it's still the same thing, even though you did not place, a name to that purpose, but you were already acting based on the giftings that you had. And that is what
Exactly.
is serving here. Absolutely.
Right.
Let us round up. I think it was a great conversation. Emmanuel and Adeola, thank you so much for your input. I hope everyone is waiting for the book to be out where we are going to break it down. We still have some questions. Let me go into the questions, answer them, and we will close this discussion for now. Of course, we were not able to cover everything. I think it was very interesting. And at the same time, we have got to 1 hour 21 minutes, which is like
Wow.
over exceeded almost.
Yeah.
Almost the biggest stream that I had. There was another biggest stream, 1 hour 30 minutes, with Andrew Madolo, who is also co-author in this book, who is writing about empathy. So I hope you are ready for this book. Wait for it, and I'm sure you are going to be blessed with it. Let me go into questions now. So there are a few questions from Svetlana. She's clarifying here what she asked previously. I mean, it can be difficult to define the mission for our life, even if we know our interests. And I think we have discussed today that it's a progress. It's not a one solution. So it's a progress of discovering. It's a journey. It's a journey. And I would say from myself is that maybe this journey never ends till you die.
That's
So you
right.
keep
Yeah.
you keep discovering.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there is another comment from Svetlana. I think technologies can be harmful if they affect negatively the health, the values, and mislead from more important issues. And to this, I would say that every technology is deadly, because even the cars, they brought death, the
Yeah.
internet brought death, and many, like every time there is an issue. But there are people who are asking questions, and those people, I'm just trying to fix my camera as well. So
Okay.
people who are asking questions, I think those people are able to make technology more useful. So we have discovered AI, and then people who are asking questions will make this AI secure. That's why it's important to have people who are asking questions, because when those cars appeared on the road, there were no rules. And these lights that you have on the streets, these lights were invented after so many people being killed by cars, and someone started asking questions: how can I prevent this killing? Let me create rules for the road. So the lights appeared with this green and yellow and red colors. So the asking questions is what saves lives. we didn't get to this point. There was one great example
Mm-hmm.
from Emanuel about saving lives,
Yeah.
but I think you will have to read about this in the book,
Yeah.
because we don't have time to cover it. And the last question from Svetlana: can you recommend some patterns how to ask questions without imposing your personal idea? So this is going to be a question for Emanuel to answer in the book,
Yes.
and we will round up. Thank you so much, everyone. Subscribe, because without subscription, here it is, you cannot write comments, and you can see that it's good to write comments. You get answers every time you ask questions, you get answers. We are aiming for 1,000 subscribers, which means every time that when you subscribe, you are subscribing to the idea that you are a creator on a mission, creator with a purpose, creator who is not just creating to waste time and talents, but
Yeah.
creator who creates to change lives. This is what you are
Right. Yeah.
subscribing for. For now, we have just 128 people like this in all over the world. Yeah, so you have to subscribe to say that you are amongst us. And that will be all for today. Thank you so much for joining. Share this stream. Write comments if you are watching in recordings. In recording, what did you get from this discussion? Thank you so much, and see you for the next discussion next Friday. And next Monday, on Monday, I'm going to see you for another show. Thank you.